it's Shanna from Creative Chaos in Tennessee, and today we are back with another organization video. So today we are talking about bad words, and today we are going to deal with the biggest bad word, in my opinion, in the crafting world, which is scraps. Now, we love them, but we hate them, right? We love cutting into those new pretty papers and cardstocks and all that to create projects, but then you're left with all the scraps. And you can't throw them away, but, I mean, how small is too small, y'all? So, that's what we're going to tackle today. We are playing along with this Crafty Bingo printable that I created. It is over on my Facebook group. You can also get it if you're not on Facebook by emailing me. And that info is in the description box below. And scraps is a big one. And I did not declutter my scraps during the decluttering part. Pip. But, so now I have a huge mess that I need to deal with, and like I said, I've been dealing with it with y'all, playing along with y'all. So, I am going to cut down these scraps. I will show you guys a few different places how I organize mine. As you can see behind me here, this is one of my areas. This is my biggest, scraps that I keep in here by rainbow order, and it is messy and needs to be cleaned out also because I've just tossed stuff in. I also have my strip where I keep my zip strip can on my cart. I also have a small bucket I'll put up there and show you, a small acrylic bin. And I keep smaller scraps in it. It also needs to be cleaned out. I also, I keep my smaller scraps in it to use for my die cutting machine. And I'm starting to keep it near my die cutting station that I have created. And then I have a tendency, if I'm being honest, to pile. I've told y'all this before, I like to pile things. When I'm working, I will have a pile all the way around me and the floor stacked up. And then I'll usually put most of it away, but they tend to accumulate. So, this is my pile of me stacking it on my table and under my Cricut. This is me working on design team stuff, swap things. It's so much easier to put a whole sheet in and let it take and cut out. Like you can see this. This is one of my bears. And it's easier to just put in a load of whole sheet. If I'm only doing like one or two and I have a smaller piece, I'll definitely throw that in and use it up. But you see, this is the only remainder piece here. So I'll just trim this off and decide what I'm going to do. This will probably go in my small scraps bin for die cutting later, because this is still a good, perfectly piece of paper, and it's hard to get rid of it, especially when the cost of everything's went up so much. So, like I said, I have this whole stack. You can see, like this one. Look at this. Isn't this a cool pattern? Wouldn't that be cool on a layout? Yes. But am I going to use it? That's the question. And I have a whole bin of these things that's technically scraps that I've kept thinking, okay, I'm going to use these on a future layout because this is a really cool pattern that was left from all the cutting out. But guess what? I never go back and dig in there. So I may clean some of it out and consider it. This is really cool. I want to keep this. Maybe I will use this very soon. But the struggle is real, y'all. But for myself, I'm going to have to get real about how much I actually go back for things. Like, especially with like this. I haven't looked in that bin in a whole year probably. And with my scraps, I do use scraps all the time. I pull scraps out and use them, especially if I'm die cutting. It's so much easier to use the die cut machine versus doing scraps on the Cricut. Just personally, but I also usually on the Cricut, I love them both for different reasons. The die cut machine, because you can use those small scraps, but the downfall is you can only cut one at a time unless you have multiple dies of the same thing, which, I mean, let's be honest, we don't most of the time. Versus the Cricut, I can create in bulk like 20. I can just load it all on there and it'll just put the paper in and voila, it has all my pieces cut for me at once. So I can bulk create a lot faster on the Cricut versus the die cut machine. They both have pros and cons. So anyways, I'm going to have to be honest with myself. I have a trash bag over here because I am going to be trashing some things. Because this is not manageable at this point. It's just not. So, I am going to let this run and I will speed it up and let y'all watch me go through this. So, hopefully you are working along decluttering and organizing your scraps, and I will come back when I'm done and I will show you guys how I ended up organizing everything and with it all cleaned out. Alright, so let's get busy. Okay, as y'all can see, I am not done, but I wanted to just say that once I have all of my, you see Pip joined me and took over my scrap pile and made a bed. But once I get all of my scraps cut down, you'll notice if you watch some of them, I am just tossing if they was really small. And But once I get them all cut, I will go back through and I will organize by color. And I will also separate the small ones from the big ones and then put them where I go. And then I will be sure to include some photos of, or a video of my finished area of what I ended up doing and cleaning out, because this is going to take a hot minute. Definitely more than 10. So this is going to take a lot of 10-minute sessions. I still have a big mountain here, and that's not counting all of those I need to clean out and my little small bin. Okay, y'all, so I wasn't going to show this part, but I am finally done cleaning out all my paper scraps other than my zip strip can, and I thought I would just show this to y'all. No judgment, my floor is nasty, but I have this whole trash bag that is just paper scraps. Some of them I just threw away, some of them was dirty, some of them I was just like, enough is enough. I saw a lot of y'all say that y'all don't cut down your scraps. You just stuff them back in after you did your die cuts or whatever with them. And that's how I was doing mine. But once you get a piece like this, all these little things, they start catching on each other. So then when you're trying to pull something out, it's all tangled up and hung up. So I decided I'm going to trim them down. Hopefully I can keep up with keeping them cut down and put away. We'll see how it works. So here is my paper rack now that I have decluttered it and cleaned it out. I cut all my papers down, and these are my bigger pieces of paper. So like if it was still 12 by 12 size, or if it was just a bigger piece in general, like these, I just kept them all in here by color. Here are my scrap bins now. I still have them sorted by color, but I have went from 1 to 2. And this one is just small scraps. I also went through and I cut all of these down, but these are just smaller size papers that I can use for my die cut machine, and I'm just going to have these set up by my die cut machine. Can use for my Cricut or whatever. Right now they're just organized by color, so I think this is going to work good. I started this, but it soon became overrun, just throwing all the pieces back in that hadn't been cut down. They get caught on each other. So I think this is going to work, but I've got to live with it for a minute, and I'll let y'all know. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. Come over and join the Facebook group if you're not already, and post your photos in the albums. I am going to be doing a Happy Mail drawing for all of y'all that play along and add your photos to the albums at the end of the month. Also, there is challenges running over there that post every Monday, and if you play along, there's going to be Happy Mail. And just as a little hint, if you've been posting, the Happy Mail is probably going to be some of the design team sets that I have been doing, because I haven't been able to have time to film videos and doing this organization series. It has taken a lot of my time, but I don't regret it, and I am excited to see how much better the room functions at the end of the month, and just to play, because I will only have the things left that I love, and they will be organized, and I am making sure to label everything so that I can find it, because that's usually an issue too. Once you reorganize, you can't find anything. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Leave me a comment below and let me know how you organize your scraps. I would love to see over on the group if you have organized your scraps and how it's working for you. There is lots of different ways to organize it. And so until next time, bye y'all.